Hello friends, good to see you again through this video. Today I wanted to talk about this topic. I will work only if I get a position or a title. How many times we have heard people saying like this? Even we could have said like this, right? So if I want to work, I need some position, or I need a title, or I need some recognition, or there has to be something for me without which I don't want to work. We can always say like that. It happens at workplaces, and it even happens in church, or even in family. We always expect something when we want to do something back, right? We expect a reward, or we expect a title, we expect a position, we expect a recognition, and then when we don't get it, we feel we are not liable to do that, right? We feel like we don't care about it when we don't have a position or a title. But today the idea of this message that is to introduce you a person from the Bible who was not actually pursuing a title or position, but he was willing to serve, he was willing to face any challenge for the sake of the Lord. And then you see, the Lord brought him the title and the position which he could not have done in his own strength. That is what I wanted to share with you today. I'm talking about King David, right? Before he became a king, he was just a little shepherd boy, right? He is tending his father's sheep in the fields. So what happened during that time? They had a battle between the Philistines and the Israelites. So at that time, the Philistines were led by this giant called Goliath, and he was challenging the people. He was giving a daily challenge to the army of Israel, saying, if you send one person to fight against me, and if you guys win, we'll become your slaves. But if I win, then you all should become a slave. That was the challenge he kept on presenting to them daily, on a daily basis. So the people were very afraid of Goliath, right? Especially the king, who had the title and position as a king, the King Saul. He was afraid to go and fight, and neither his army, the generals, or whoever, the soldiers who all had the position and title to safeguard the people of Israel. So they all were afraid of Goliath because they were all relying on their own strength, right? But here comes David. What did David did? When he saw that Goliath was cursing the name of the Lord, if you read in the 1 Samuel chapter 17, you can read this whole story, right? How Goliath is challenging the people of Israel. And when David came to the battlefield, just to visit his brothers, because his brothers were in a position in the army, right? He had 3 brothers who were working in the army at that time. So they all were afraid, right? They were all not willing to take up the responsibility that has been given for their position, right? But still, David came, and when he saw Goliath putting up the challenge, so he was willing to take the challenge, right? Because he knew, this Philistine is not worthy to tell the name of the Lord, to call the name of the Lord with unholy words like that, right? And that is why we see David saying like this, right? Who is this Philistine to say such and such things against the name of the Lord? So that is what really triggered David, and he went and he fought, and he killed Goliath, right, by God's help. And because of that, what happened? The Lord promoted David, and there was a title for David, right? At the end of the day, we see David was restored as the king of Israel. So today, my dear friends, one very simple lesson you and I we can learn from this passage is, many times we think we don't want to serve somebody because we don't get any recognition, or we don't get any reward out of it, right? But you know what? In the book of Colossians chapter 3 verse 23 and 24, it says like this: whatever you do not do it for the sake of men, but do it heartily for the sake of the Lord, because your reward comes from Christ whom you serve. That is what the Bible says. So today, Jesus Christ is also the example for you and me to follow in this world, right? It is written about him that the Lord came, Jesus Christ came in this world not to be served, but to serve others. So today, as a follower of Christ or as a disciple of Christ, we need to verify, we need to just introspect ourselves, our intentions and our motives, right? Whether we want to serve other people or we want others to serve us, right? That is the most important thing we need to know. So it is when we have this servant attitude, right, when we, even whatever the little things, the little opportunities or small opportunities that God gives in our hands, if we are willing to do our best, if we are willing to put our heart, soul and mind into that, that is when the Lord will begin to bring us the titles. He will bring us the title and positions in the due time. We don't need to go searching after it, right? And that is what happened with David also. So today, if you are thinking that, only if I am being recognized, or if I only receive a reward, or if I am being honored with a title or position, I want to serve. So we need to first change that attitude, and we need to have that servant attitude, because Christ came to serve us. So as a follower of Christ, as a disciple of Christ, when we exhibit that servanthood, right, definitely the Lord will place us in such a way that positions and titles will automatically come searching for us, and we don't need to go searching after a position or a title. May the Lord bless this word. You all have a blessed and a happy day. God bless you.